era for the World Rally Circus and one of the most bruising events on the calendar. Roasting temperatures and tough, rocky surfaces are just part of the challenge which is the Acropolis Rally, round 7 of the World Rally Championship. This historic event has been running for 48 years and marks the halfway point in the 2002 season. Run on the Greek mainland around 2 hours northwest of the capital Athens, the rally is based in the seaside town of Itaea, with the stages in the nearby mountains and a single service park for all 3 days at Parnassos. On the last round in Argentina, Ford's Carlos Sainz took the honours, despite finishing behind 2 Peugeots. First, Marcus Grönholm was disqualified after team personnel infringed a 1 kilometre exclusion zone. When Richard Burns was then also excluded for having an underweight flywheel, Sainz could take the win.
Maybe this time I was not deserving, but other times, as I said, I have it in my hand and I lost it just by bad luck in the last moment. So sometimes luck goes in one direction, sometimes in another direction.
Tommy Mäkinen's Rally Argentina had a very different ending. This massive accident on the final day cruelly robbed him of any chance of victory.
We were a little bit ahead already on that stage. Unfortunately, some little mistake on very high speed, and so it can happen so quickly and so easily when you push more than 100%.
So as the championship reaches the halfway point, this is how the Driver Series looks. Grönholm, Burns and Mäkinen took no points from South America, while Sainz is now equal third thanks to that win. The 1995 world champion Colin McRae is one of those who've still to get their campaign started, while the manufacturers' table shows Peugeot have an enormous lead, despite those double exclusions in Argentina. Colin McRae knows he has to win soon if he's to play any part in the championship battle, and he starts as favourite in Greece after 4 wins from the last 6 rallies here. It was only the curtain raiser. Day 1 would see 6 stages to the west of Mount Parnassos, and the temperatures were forecast to be in the 80s. Together with the rocky roads, it certainly wouldn't be a gentle start to the rally.
Well, here we have a road typical of what's going to be used this weekend on the Greek rally. This road was actually used in the late 80s, early 90s, and it's been used many times. As you can see, the whole road is covered in rocks, ranging from the small sort of razor sharp rocks which you get here, which are usually good for getting a puncture, down to the hard rocks which are set into the road, which never move or come out, but as more cars go over it, they get more exposed and increase the risk of getting a puncture. Then if you look on the outside and inside of the corners, you get these bigger rocks, much bigger rocks which have been pushed to the side, and it goes without saying that if you cut this corner just by a couple of widths of a wheel, then you're going to get a puncture, or at the very worst you're going to take the wheel off.
Stage 1 was the first of the rally's 16 and would be a typical Acropolis test. 24 kilometres of twists and turns, a long climb uphill and then down again into the valley. The virtual spectator overview of the stage can give a great idea of where it goes and how flowing the road is, but what it doesn't show is the road surface, those thousands of razor-sharp rocks Phil Mills was telling us about. First to go looking for those stones was Marcus Grönholm. The rule change this year, which means the top 15 run in reverse order, only applies to days 2 and 3. On day 1, the cars run in championship order. So the Peugeot with Grönholm and co-driver Timo Rautiainen was the road sweeper, cleaning a line through the loose top surface for the others to follow.
5. Ja vasen nopea. 5 ja vasen eri yli nypyä 5 ja vasen nopea ja oikein nopea.
So that was the benchmark, the target for the others to attack. The reigning world champions Richard Burns and Robert Reid had the benefit of 3 cars running ahead of them, but were 6 seconds slower than their teammates. Maybe Grönholm's promise to take things easy was meant to apply to the next 2 rallies.
Titans 20 and flat left 100 flat right plus in, straight 80 braking, fast left plus the fast left, tightens, vertically left plus in, 20, straight crest 40, easy right, tightens maybe, do easy right minus long, 220.
Tommy Mäkinen was fifth quickest on the stage. A good start, but it was clear that the conditions were helping those running further back. Armin Schwarz's Hyundai set exactly the same time.
Pitkä K-oikeus 9. 3, 2,
In the other Subaru, Peter Solberg had high
to
hopes
right
that this
minus
would be the
tightens,
rally
he made
which would
into
see
2,
his
left
first
minus
victory.
half long, tightens 1+.
That bid for victory, though, got off to a shaky start. Out of sight of our cameras, he spun and lost well over a minute.
I got a half spin into a corner. I hit the bump inside, and then I couldn't start, and then the engine stopped. I couldn't start it again, and we lost 1.5 minutes or something, I think.
Carlos Sainz and Colin McRae didn't have the strong start many had predicted, with McRae fourth quickest and Sainz only ninth. The Scot dominated the Cyprus rally in April, though two big accidents on the final day denied him victory. But stage 1 in Greece saw him over 14 seconds off the pace.
Into 6 left tightens and 5 left minus tightens.
0.2 of a second faster than McRae's Ford was the Peugeot of Harry Rovanpera, who was in turn less than a second behind Gronholm's time. Giving the Ford team something to smile about though was Marco Martin. Helped by the cleaning road, the Estonian was nearly 14 seconds quicker than Gronholm, despite complaining of a brake problem.
Opens to 6.
Citroën, however, weren't so happy. They had hopes for both Thomas Rodstrom and Sebastian Loeb, but the young Frenchman had suspension problems and then brake failure and was nearly 30 seconds off the pace, while the Swede was slower still.
Sebastian, have you got a problem?
Yes, we had a problem with the brakes at the end of the stage. On 3 or 4 kilometers, the pedal was going down and we are looking what it is.
Loeb isn't one of the 4 men we've chosen for the virtual spectator parallel racing comparison. That hardly matters. On this occasion, Sainz, Burns and Mäkinen are all overshadowed by Marco Martin. You don't often get the chance to see what an advantage of 20 seconds looks like on a rally stage, but this is one of those chances. So this was the first leaderboard of the rally. Marco Martin the leader, with Gronholm, Rovanpera, McRae, Mäkinen and Schwarz all covered by 19 seconds or so. Burns led the remainder of the top 12 places, with Toshi Arai in the third of the Subarus, 10th place. Stage 2, and an idea of the problems caused by all the loose gravel. On stage 1, however, Gronholm had shown that he wouldn't be too bothered by running first on the road. This time he was 7th fastest, losing around 10 seconds. But it's clear from the onboard camera that the 2000 world champion was having to use all his skills to keep the car on the road, not lose too much time.
Miinus on tää ja vasen eri. 7 oikein helppo. Saata oikein helppo sumpuu. 7 oikein hidas. Toista hidas.
Still kicking himself for his spin on stage 1, Peter Solberg fared much better on 2. For a time it seemed the Norwegian and his Welsh co-driver Phil Mills were on course to set the fastest time. Another driver with a Welshman alongside him is Colin McRae, but despite Nicky Grist's calm voice reciting the pace notes, Focus was just 12th fastest, precious seconds lost when McRae was distracted by running in Solberg's dust.
Left tightens to 2+. And 6 right. Into 6 right over crest. Into slow 4 right. Opens.
It was then left to
3
Marco
right,
Martin and Michael
20.
Park to defend Ford honours.
Hairpin left. 30. 2 right hair.
Despite a puncture, the pair only lost around 4 seconds, and so still led the rally. But the sensations of stage 2 were the Hyundais. For so long they'd played a supporting role for the likes of Ford, Subaru and Peugeot. But this time Armin Schwarz knew that the clearing roads favoured them, and so there was no better time to attack. Solberg's time, quickest so far, is in the bottom right of your screen.
50 right for short, minus 50 tight and 3 short, finish 150. Left 5 stop.
But there was more to come. With Schwarz now up in second place, along came his Belgian colleague, Freddy Loix.
Hij rijdt naar voren en Wemmens zit rechts en wordt 50. Hij 120 kort licht couperen. 120 kort licht couperen en 50. Flying finish. Ja.
So Hyundais were now second and third. Loix exactly a second slower on the stage than Schwarz. The only other driver who looks like getting anywhere near the Korean cars was
Max left 20 bad right. Minus Titan, Max left 20 bad right. 30. Caution. Hairpin left plus, keep cool. Hairpin left plus. Will be a good time anyway. To easy right. 50, fast right plus, open and Titan medium plus. Fast right plus, open and Titan medium plus. 80. Max left along this. 11.51, well done.
Rudstrom the stage winner then, although he was another who picked up a puncture on the stage. Despite comments from the drivers that the stages on this year's Acropolis seem to be a lot smoother than usual, this shot of Marcus Grönholm on stage 3 confirms that there were still plenty of rocks.
8 ja oikein pitkä nopea, kirraa. Vasen pitkä eri miinus. 7 oikein tiukka kirraa.
This time Burns was the quickest of the Peugeot drivers, second fastest, beating his teammate by a little under a second.
Right Max 1690 left in long. 30. To flat right 170. Crest 80 left Max. 80 grass okay.
Colin McRae was still in 6th place, despite losing precious seconds with a spin on stage 3.
Into 6 right line.
So once again it was Martin who was the quickest of the 3 Ford drivers, and the Estonian still led the rally.
Left. 40, 6 right. 50, 6 right 20, 3 minus left long, bad camber. 100.
But behind the Focus, second place had changed hands. It was still a Hyundai, but it was now Freddy Loix, not Armin Schwarz. The Belgian set the fastest time on the stage. The gap between the top two was now exactly 12 seconds.
Freddy, a very good time in the last stage. You're catching Marco Martin.
Yeah, we still have a few seconds to go, but okay, I'm happy. The car was going very well.
The 25-kilometre Renggini stage, the rally's 4th, and the rocks were getting even bigger. It wasn't the road surface though which caused Grönholm to lose time, but a lapse in concentration.
8. Ja nyt oikein hidas ja vasen hidas suppu. Mene heti vasen hidas suppu.
The quickest Peugeot this time was driven by another Finn, Harry Rovanperä.
Oikee serpo. Oikein täysjarru, vasen eri pidä 3 oikee serpo. 6. Vasen serpo sisältä.
The fastest time was set by Marco Martin, his second stage win from 4, which meant that he and Michael Park extended their lead to over 26 seconds.
2 right. 2 3 left, 30, shot 2 right, junction 2 minus left.
Second quickest was Armin Schwarz, so he moved back ahead of Loix into second place once again, despite concerns over the Accent suspension.
30, tight 3, left 4, 100 left 3 to 4 minus little tight and house. 30, left 3 to 4 short. 30, left 4 short minus and right 3 to 4 short.
Freddy Loix and co-driver Sven Smits couldn't repeat their win on stage 3. 6th quickest, the pair dropped to 3rd once again, although Gronholm's spin meant he was now 10th, so no longer a threat to the pair. So after 4 of the day's 6 stages, Marco Martin led Armin Schwarz, with Freddie Loix 3rd, Rovanperä 4th, Burns 5th and Colin McRae 6th, those 6 covered by less than 50 seconds. Mäkinen and Rodstrom were tied for 7th, with an unhappy Gronholm now 57.5 seconds behind the leader. Spin, it was now the turn of another Finn to run into difficulties. This time it was Tommi Mäkinen's Subaru which lost time with power steering failure.
Lyhyt oikea heti vasen eri plus tiukka kirraa sumppu. Ja oikea vasen 4, pirun pitkä K vasen miinus 100. Kova se on. Joo. 4. Helppo vasen 5, pitkä paha vasen.
While Mäkinen dropped to 11th place, Solberg was languishing down in 21st after his 3rd spin of the day. It had been a frustrating and disappointing first day for Petter, who'd had high hopes of bettering the 2nd place he'd scored here 12 months ago. On that occasion, the only man ahead of Solberg was Colin McRae, but this year McRae was just one of 20 who bettered the Subaru driver. 2nd on stage 5, the Scot had climbed to 3rd overall, helped by the misfortunes of Gronholm, Schwarz and Mäkinen. Fastest on the stage yet again was McRae's young teammate Marco Martin. His 3rd stage victory helped increase his lead to nearly 36 seconds, to the delight of the Estonian fans who travelled to Greece. Hyundai might have seen Schwarz drop to 5th, but Loix was still keeping career hopes alive. 3rd on stage 5, Freddie was still 2nd overall, now the meat in a Ford Focus stage. Stage 6 was a rerun of the day's opener, the 24.4km Pavliani test. Carlos Sainz had a mixed day, but the 7th quickest time on stage 6 allowed him to end the day in 5th place. Tommi Mäkinen's day, however, was about to go in the other direction. A lack of power steering and then brake failure meant Mäkinen was fighting the car, and a wheel was ripped off by a large rock. Despite this exhausting trip to recover the wheel, retirement was almost inevitable.
We lost brakes a few kilometers before this place, and just when I brake down here, there was only rear brakes and a little hole, and that little hole just threw the wheel away.
On the roughest, twistiest stages of the year, you know, it's hard enough just to stay on the road. I have no idea what might have happened. We'll find out when we can get proper contact with Tommi.
So once again, all eyes were on Solberg to score points for Subaru. This time there were no repeats of the spins which had cost so much time, and he was fastest on the stage, despite this
narrow, 6 rights, long, tightened. Just slow, 30, caution, keep left and right of a crest, just 6 left, opens extra long, just slow, narrow shot, 5 right.
For the 2nd stage in a row, Colin McRae was 2nd quickest, so he'll start day 2 in 3rd place. 4th fastest and 4th overall, and Rovanperä will lead the Peugeot Challenge into the 2nd day. Marco Martin, though, is the leader tonight, despite only being 3rd quickest on stage 6. The road conditions had clearly helped those running further back, but even so, it had been a terrific performance by Martin. It's been a great day too for Freddie Loix, despite this spin.
Come on.
We're not used to seeing a Hyundai in the podium places, so there were some happy faces awaiting Loix's return to service in Pasos. In theory, the top 15 running in reverse order tomorrow should be of further help, but time will tell.
Tjus, dat is beter.
So this is how things stand at the end of the first day. There are some unfamiliar names at the head of the leaderboard, thanks to all the road sweeping going on, but Marco Martin and Freddie Loix still deserve their places. However, 2 more days and 10 more gruelling stages remain, so anything could still happen. 6 more stages made up day 2, beginning to the southwest of the Parnassos Service Park, before a pair to the east, and then a repeat of the opening 2 tests, 159 kilometres in all.
From a co-driver's point of view, the most important thing here is the line, and to read the notes to position the car exactly where you want it on the road. If you get out of what we call the line, the ideal place on the road, you're going to get into trouble. And this is a typical example. If you came around this left-hand corner here and cut the exit of the corner, then this is going to take your wheel off. No question about it. That is the end of your rally. So you have to read the pace note exactly right, and that is probably one of the most difficult things of this rally.
One left, tightens, tight, 1 don't cut.
Is getting the cuts, the don't cuts, the keep outs, the keep ins, and all those little fine things have to be spot on.
Stage 7, Bauxites, was the day's first. 23.5 kilometres of fairly open track, but as the virtual spectator shows, it starts with a long climb before the road runs along a ridge and then descends into the valley again towards the stage finish. Baking sunshine and little wind would mean the heat and dust would be even worse than on day 1.
Less than 3 seconds between you and Freddie. Can you catch him today?
Yeah, for sure we'll try. These first 2 stages are going to be a good telltale of what's going to happen.
Do you think there's any chance of catching Marco today without him having a problem?
I don't know, because he was driving very well, sometimes much quicker than us, but at least we're going to try, and it's also important we can keep the boys behind us.
Marco, you've got a lead of 50 seconds, but you can't afford to relax today.
No, definitely not. There's no chance to relax. It's a long way to go, and nothing is decided.
Very long pass.
The top 15 are run in reverse order on days 2 and 3, so it was Juha Kankkunen's Hyundai which was first into the stage.
Left some four, keep in, and long easy right.
A persistent electrical fault still hadn't been traced, so the car was down on power, but major work was planned for the next service. In Mitsubishi's case, it was the crews who were down on power. Their hotel kitchen had caught fire overnight, and the drivers and co-drivers had spent over an hour outside while the fire service tackled the blaze. A sleepy Alistair McRae was then only 15th fastest, while Francois Delacour was 7 seconds slower. Marcus Grönholm was in the unfamiliar position of being the lowest placed of the 3 Peugeot drivers. He though was 5th quickest on the stage and moved up to 6th place on the leaderboard. Richard Burns knew that his road position was far better than on the previous day and sensed his chance to move up the order. He and co-driver Robert Wood stormed through the stage, setting the fastest time so far, moving from 6th to 5th.
Left, the medium right plus in, 20, medium left minus tightens maybe, 50, tail left plus in.
Carlos Sainz and Luis Moya were also determined to try and improve on their restart position, but in the Spaniards' case, things didn't go according to plan.
Derecha rasante, izquierda acá, posible cuarta, se abre. Para derecha que hay cuarta. Venga. Hostia, me engañó.
Madre, me engañó Luis. Apágalo, me cago en su madre, me engañó Luis. Apágalo, me cago en su puta madre. I have continued straight in a junction. I thought the road was straight. I stalled the engine, reverse.
So Sainz dropped 2 places to 7th, so small were the gaps between the drivers. Colin McRae though fared much better. He knew that Freddie Loix's 2nd place was within reach. Richard Burns' time is on your screens as a comparison.
And 6 right, and opens into 6 left over crest, and right tightens to 5 minus, and 6 left, opens long. Okay.
9/10ths of a second quicker than Burns, McRae was now the fastest so far, but what did this man do? Loix had been one of the sensations of day 1, but things were now very different, and the road conditions wouldn't help Freddie anything like as much.
Kom rechts en rechtsaf voor kort, even links stop. En rechts voorkant even links stop, om 50, rechts uit direct naar 120, flying finish. Om 50 linksaf voor. Ja.
Nearly 13 seconds down on the Ford, the Hyundai slipped to third place. McRae's attack was underway.
You didn't make any mistakes, but the calling was just a little bit quicker, I think. Yeah. So okay, I had a good run, but sorry, but I couldn't go quicker.
But the rally leader was still to go. Could Marco Martin rise to McRae's challenge?
Flat left into 5 minus right, 23 plus left long, and 3 plus right, 20, 3 plus left heavy, 4 right, and 4 left heavy. Easy left into 6 minus right, 80, easy left.
No, 2.1 seconds separated the two Fords. It was in fact Petty Solberg, 17th over left, who was fastest on the stage.
6 left half long, opens 15.
This time we'll let Phil Mills tell you the time.
14:00.
To get an idea of just how much time Sainz lost with his excursion, we'll call in the services of the virtual spectator. Solberg has already headed off into the distance, but Sainz is neck and neck with McRae and Burns. Then comes the mistake, and even though it doesn't look like much, just watch the string of cars which go past before the focus gets going again. That's how close things are these days, and that's what happens when you make even the slightest error. The position at the head of the leaderboard was the same. Martin still 51 seconds or so clear, but second, third, fifth and sixth places had all changed hands. Sainz was now 7th, fuming at his mistake, but 7th to 10th were covered by just 30 seconds, so there was still plenty to fight for. Skoda's challenge was led by 14th placed Lee Gardemeister, the Finn ahead of both Kenneth Eriksson and Stig Blomqvist, despite worrying about an upset stomach. Hyundai, of course, were all willing Freddie Royce to continue his day one performance, but maybe that pressure was beginning to get to the Belgian.
Links, rechts 72, min breed. Links, ik heb al lang gezegd, hè.
Like Sainz on the previous stage, that spin dropped Loitz to 7th, allowing Richard Burns into the podium positions for the first time. Keep an eye on the clock for an idea of just how much time that spin cost Freddie.
Long, 40, fast left in and fast left plus 50, fast left minus in, 30 medium right, tightens long.
This time Sainz made no mistakes. Neat and tidy on stage 8, he and Lewis Moyer were third fastest, snatching a place back from Grumham in the process.
Para izquierda corta de tierra, abrirse 1, derecha izquierda calenta corta, Sasar.
The next Peugeot driver on Sainz's hit list was Harry Rovanperä. Now just 1.1 seconds ahead of the Ford, his 206 suffered a puncture on the stage, which cost a few precious seconds. It was, though, still a four-1 2. Colin McRae and Nicky Grist were fourth fastest, losing around 6 seconds to the rally leaders.
Slow 4 left over crest, tightens. Into slow 4 right. And left tightens to slow 4. Into 4 left, opens long. And 6 right. Into 6 right over crest.
But it seemed Marco Martin and Whiteley Park had risen to their teammates' challenge. Quickest so far, their lead had now grown to over 57 seconds, but there was still Solberg to come. The Subaru driver had climbed 3 places thanks to winning stage 7, and now had one eye on the top 10. But one of the most bizarre incidents of the season was about to hit Solberg and Phil Mills.
Hairpin left, loose, tightens, 30.
Get the screw for the steering, get the screw for the steering, it's loose.
2 right minus tightens, keep in, 30.
Get the screw!
For the steering?
Yeah.
It's in the back. Okay, see what I can do.
As Mills searches for the onboard toolkit, Solberg has to drive blind with no pace notes. However, the thought of the steering wheel coming off in his hands means living without notes for a while isn't such a problem. Incredibly, despite these amazing scenes, the pair was second fastest on the stage, climbing to 11th place. But just look at the wheel move on the next road section.
Because you're getting the tools, because it's completely loose. It's difficult to see when you're driving that is loose there. I thought it was in the middle there.
Stage 9, in fact, would hold mixed fortunes for the Peugeot team. Marcus Kronholm, fourth quickest on the stage, found himself elevated to third place, thanks to the misfortune of others. There were now two Peugeots in the top three, not too familiar situation this year. As he predicted, Richard Burns set the fastest time and moved up into second place. But it wasn't all good news for the French team. Another puncture for Rovanpera, with the run-flat mousse not working this time, dropped him to second place behind Lloyds and Sainz.
Para fondo, derecha buena más, se abre, acaba rasante fondo, para izquierda rápida, para derecha buena más, se cierra.
Sainz and Moya hadn't enjoyed the first day, but were now engaged in a battle with Kronholm for third, and a scrap for a podium place is exactly the situation Ross enjoys. His teammate, on the other hand, is at his happiest when he senses victory as a possibility. Second fastest on the stage, and frightening our cameraman in the process, Colin McRae thought he'd still be in second place, but when the clock stops, just look at the position which appears.
Crest 100. 6 left over crest, keep out, and 6 left over jump maybe, 100. 6 left over crest. Okay.
Next through was Lloyds, 6th fastest, but by now back up to 5th overall. The reason for all the changes was that the man who'd led the rally since the very first stage was in trouble.
4 right, for minus left for dip maybe. 6 right, crest, 4 right.
That rattle is a puncture. 15 kilometres to go, Marco Martin has to start and change the wheel, losing 3.5 minutes the lead. Incredibly, these two rocks have caused the damage. Marco's face said it all. What a cruel way to lose the lead, while what remained of the tyre told its own story.
No, basically we got the puncture just like that, without hitting anything, and just it was so bad that we had to stop and change it, because otherwise we would have broken the suspension and something. So it's a long way to go. So we lost many minutes, I think, because it's not so easy with that.
We've gained the lead, unfortunately. Marco had a puncture there, which could have happened to anyone. The stage condition is pretty bad, so all you can do is go as quick as you can and hope that you don't pick up a puncture.
Stage 10 was cancelled for safety reasons. The organisers concerned about the number of spectators at certain points and the number of parked cars close to the road. So the crews could head for Parnassos and service. Stage 11 was the second run of the day through the Bauxite stage, but a lot of loose stones had been thrown up by the earlier run. The driving line, though, was a lot clearer than it had been in the morning. Marcus Kronholm was 22 seconds faster than he'd been 7 hours before.
8 ja Vaseri miinuskirraa suppuu kivi. 7 ja Vaseri helppo.
Richard Burns lost 8 seconds to his colleague, so the gap between second and third was now down to less than 20 seconds.
Crest 10 fast right plus opens. 70. Flat left. 150.
Harry Rovanpera's front wing bore evidence of a collision, but whatever it was hadn't cost that much time. 6th fastest on the stage, the Finn was still 6th overall. So much for the Peugeots. What about the Fords? Sainz was 7th quickest, dropping over 11 seconds to the charging Gronholm, while McRae, the rally leader, was 4th fastest, taking another 5 seconds off the chasing Burns. After yesterday's performance by Martin and Loix, today's leaderboard looked a lot more familiar.
Right and left and right and 6 left opens into 6 left opens into long left.
Behind the scrap for podium places, Solberg quietly repeated the morning stage win. So, yet again it seemed it would be the Battle of Britain for victory. McRae for Ford, fighting with Burns for Peugeot.
Yeah. Yours done as well, sir.
Less than a minute now covered first to 4th places, with everyone evenly spaced out, 20 seconds or so apart. The real battle, it seemed, would be between Solberg, now 8th, and Sebastian Loeb, just 4.4 seconds ahead. Devastated Marco Martin, meanwhile, was still 9th. Stage 12 was the day's last, another repeat, and so another cleaner road surface. Gronholm was clearly a man on a mission. He was over 10 seconds faster than Burns, despite overdoing things on one corner.
He does.
Vasen nopea ja oikein nopea.
Burns, though, wasn't exactly hanging around, but despite going 6 seconds faster than he'd done in the morning, he'll start the final day less than 10 seconds ahead of his teammates.
In 30, medium right, tightens long.
A little of the pressure was taken off the two Peugeot drivers when Carlos Sainz lost around 40 seconds with gearbox problems.
Para derecha buena más corta, para izquierda casi tierra.
No such worries for the rally leader. Colin McRae was 4th fastest and knows he's now on the verge of taking his 5th win in Greece. Day 3's 4 stages, now all that stand in his way. Quickest on the stage was the other Ford Focus, that of the unlucky Marco Martin.
24 left into 3 plus right. Sounds like a rear-wheel drive car.
This time it was the turn of Freddie Loix to have problems. He lost around 20 seconds after breaking the axle suspension. He was still in 5th place, but day 2 hadn't gone anything like as well as day 1. Colin McRae will start the final day with a lead of over 32 seconds, while Burns will be scrapping with Gronholm in the morning. Behind the top 6, Solberg and Martin have both passed Loeb, with the others now too far back to stand any real chance of getting into the points. The day's 4 stages are all repeats of earlier tests, so the running order isn't an issue. 2 in the morning, a service halt at lunchtime, and then the final pair in the afternoon, 96 kilometres in total. Stage 13, the day's first, was a rerun of the 23-kilometre in Lahore test. 13 was certainly an unlucky number for Alistair McRae. The rally hadn't gone well for either of the two Mitsubishis, but McRae and his co-driver David Senior were destined to become the first victims of day 3.
Medium left, into.
Marco Martin and Peter Solberg were now fighting for the first of the manufacturer's points. Martin's Focus stormed through the stage, setting the fastest time so far.
40, 3 right now. And 4 left, narrow. 40, short 6 left, 4 minus right, long.
Solberg also attacked, but had to settle for a time 1.6 seconds slower than Martin. This was getting interesting. 10 seconds now separated Martin and Solberg, but Harry Rovanpera in turn was only 11 and a half ahead of Solberg. It's Stage 13, however, Rovanperä was slower than both the men chasing him. So, as well as the three-way battle for victory, there was now another fight developing for the rest of the points positions. Freddie Loix, fourth overnight, was also involved in that scrap, but the Hyundai was only 8th fastest. Sainz at least had something of a safety cushion. The four drivers behind him could fight all they wanted. He was playing the waiting game to see what would happen to the three men ahead. In front of the Spaniard was Grönholm. He though had no plans to wait and see what happened. He was going to push.
Ja oikein eri. 5 ja vasen laita oikein nopea. 5 ja vasen nopea. Ja oikein nopea yli nypyn.
Grönholm was nearly 2 seconds quicker than Martin, but surely that number 2 was a mistake. Sadly for his team, no it wasn't. Richard Burns' rally was about to grind to a halt.
20. Slow medium right and open.
Yeah, there is suspension broken. We're driving, but we're driving very slowly, and I want to know if I should stop. It's quite hard to keep the car on the road. If I should stop, if I slow down Colin. The lower lateral arm has just snapped.
Okay, we have no spare in the car. Sorry about that. Thank you for all you have done so far.
Just going through the first stage, it was quite a lot rougher than it was the first time through it yesterday, and one of the arms in the rear suspension broke, just the constant pounding of the stage, but no one sort of big impact, but just the constant movement.
Next through the stage was Colin McRae. Wasn't sure which one of the three Peugeots was parked up.
I think so, yeah.
But he should have known better than to relax. This rally was far from over.
Into long 3 left. And 3 right plus opens. And long 4 left.
Keep an eye on the rear wheel on Colin's side of the car. The impact had knocked the wheel back into the arch, but unlike Burns, McRae was able to drive to the end of the stage. Watch the clock to compare his time with Grönholm's.
Narrows over crest. And K3 left minus, okay.
So at least the focus still led, but there was the small matter of another stage before service. Something would have to be done. Grist then puts a wheel under the car to support it, since his driver had found another use for the jack.
Unfortunately, after a hairpin right, just slid wide. Got on the loose stuff on the outside, slid wide and just hit a tree. It shouldn't be too much of a problem now. We've sort of pushed the arch out of the arch out of the tyre, so we should be able to continue, no problem.
So the leaderboard now looked a little different. McRae led Grönholm by 34 seconds with Sainz nearly a minute behind. The gaps between Loix, Rovanperä, Solberg and Martin had all narrowed, so they were set for a great scrap. But the leader must have been relieved just to still be in the event. Take a look at stage 14 through the eyes of the virtual spectator. The 19 kilometres or so had been run as the rally's second test on day 1, and was the stage which had seen the Hyundai charge begin. Now of course the road surface was very different, but the uphill climb, the long open straights and the tight hairpins were exactly the same, as were the rocks which lay in wait, and the searing temperatures. The rally has a deserved reputation as a car breaker, and it claimed yet another victim when Gilles Panizzi retired his Peugeot with a broken gearbox. This time it was Peter Solberg who was the quickest of the 4 men fighting for 4th, 5th and 6th. Rovanperä lost a second to the Norwegian after clipping a bank.
107. Vähän oikee täys 100. Pidä oikein helppo suppu, 7. Vasen täys yli 6. Hae pitkä oikein ekosisältä.
But by now the 4 men were down to 3. After his heroics on day 1, Freddie Loix was rewarded with a disappointment of retirement after a heavy landing damaged the car's engine.
It would look like it would help, yes.
So it's mixed blessings. We're all bitterly disappointed to lose the car so close to the end, and when we're vying for fourth place. So I think we're very optimistic about the performance of the car. At the same time, we've just got to work a little bit harder on it and get up there on a regular basis. It's not far away now, though.
It was clear that Carlos Sainz and Luis Moya had backed off. They were just 5th quickest on the stage.
Para derecha rápida se abre, 3. Izquierda, derecha rápida se cierra poco, a fondo. Abrirse 1, acaba rápida, menos se cierra ras. Para izquierda buena más, se cierra. Para derecha rápida, ojo, se abre, a fondo. Para izquierda buena más en quinta, se cierra.
They attacked again, aware that McRae's damaged rear wheel might slow the Ford driver.
Ja oikee täys. 8, oikee eri sisältä 5 ja oikee nopee.
Okay, thought Marcus, beat that if you can. McRae and Grist were certainly going to try. They repaired the damage and the wheel was as strong as it had ever been.
And left tightens to 2+. And 6 right into 6 right over crest into slow 4 right opens into 6 left 120. Okay,
6.5 seconds might have been lost, but they still led. Let's see just how hard McRae was pushing. The virtual spectators able to compare his time in the middle of stage 14 with his performance on stage 2 48 hours earlier. Even after the dramas of the rear wheel, the focus is over 11 seconds quicker the second time around. Amongst all the excitement, Sebastian Loeb was quietly giving Citroën valuable experience ready for their assault on the full series next year. He was 7th, just outside the points. 6th place marker Martin was only a minute clear of Loeb, so he could run soon after Peter Solberg. Yet again, the Subaru was quicker than the Ford. Solberg, though, had claimed another place, squeezing past Harry Rovanperä to grab 4th by just 0.6 of a second. Carlos Sainz was still 20 seconds clear of Solberg, so with just 1 17-kilometre stage remaining, should have been confident he'd hang on to his 3rd position. Sainz, however, was only too aware that the rally wasn't over yet.
Carlos, you're going to consolidate your 3rd place.
I'm trying to do it. It's still not finished, still a rough stage, next one.
Gronholm meanwhile knew that his best chance of snatching victory away from McRae lay on this 37-kilometre stage.
Ja nyppymaseri jouheylinypy tarkkana.
Nearly 2 seconds faster than Solberg, he was obviously quick, but was it quick enough?
Marcus, you're going to try and catch Colin or stay in 2nd place and look for the championship points?
Okay, now it's only 17 kilometers anymore, so there is no chance.
Clearly knew that this would be no repeat of Cyprus. There was now a gap of over 27 seconds between 206 and Focus, with just that short final stage left to run.
Into 6 right over crest, long, and long 6 left, and 6 crest 50, 6 left and 6 left over crest 50. 6 right over crest, 70. Left tightens the slow 4, 6 left over jump, maybe 100.
Okay. 17 k's to go, that's all.
That's all, yeah. I think a
nice sensible approach. I mean, okay, Marcus is going fast and you can't back off that much, but I think a nice level-headed approach will go down quite nicely.
So just one stage to go before Colin McRae could claim his first win in a year. Solberg and Rovanperä would still have everything to fight for, but everyone else looked set to hold on to their places. The World Rally Championship, though, is known for its surprises, so what might the final stage have in store? After Hyundai's stunning performance on day one, Armin Schwarz's accent was the only one of the three to make it to the finish. Ninth place, though, was enough to give the German the first of the manufacturer's points. First driver's point went to Marco Martin. Sixth place, however, seemed poor reward after that great drive for the first half of the event.
Easy right, and 6 left 20, 2 left here.
Solberg's fortune seemed to improve as the rally went on. Who'd have thought he'd recover so well after losing all that time on day one? As he crosses the line, he certainly thinks he's done enough to hang on to fourth place. Down to Rovanperä, 6/10 of a second, the gap, remember.
Minä oikein eri, vasen eri sisältä, 4 ja vasen oikein eri plus yli. Pitkä vasen eri miinus.
The Finn had done it, retaking fourth place by a second, to the Norwegians' astonishment.
Harry, you enjoyed a close battle with Petra over the last few stages. You must be very pleased.
Yes, of course. Long one is coming well, but Peter takes incredible time, and this last one we coming. I never can, and it's okay.
And so to the top three. Not only was McRae on the verge of his first win for 12 months, but Sainz's third place meant the team were on course to score 14 badly needed points, so he knew this was no time for heroics. Sainz, though, is the model of consistency, and he duly set the 5th fastest time to secure his place on the podium. Bromholm's massive lead in the Drivers' Championship meant he could also afford to concentrate on being neat, not take any risks. One idiotic spectator, though, decided he'd add a distraction. Keep an eye on the windscreen directly in front of Marcus's face. Had the rock come through the screen, it could have had appalling consequences. Not surprisingly, Bromholm wasn't amused.
A spectator thrown a stone into my windscreen, as you see. Spectator.
And long 5 left,
unfortunately saw no repeat of the loutish
and
behaviour.
5 right
This is
minus
the performance
into
of a rally
left
winner,
and
so
hairpin
enjoy
right.
the ride. Your tour guide is Nicky Grist.
And left, and 6 right, and 5 left tightens through bump, and right and hairpin left. Into 4 right, and 4 left plus 30, 5 left minus line, into 4 right plus opens and tightens, and 4 left minus opens, into 3 right, tightens, into 3 left plus opens, and 6 left over crest, and 6 right don't cut, and care, 3 left tightens, into 3 left plus tightens, and 6 right over crest, 30 left tightens, the 3 plus. Okay. Yo dude, wicked.
As the pair crossed the finish line, Grist's congratulations are quickly followed by those of their boss.
Thank you, Colin, Nicky. Thanks for a great job. 12 months is a long time, guys. I hope I don't have to wait 12 months for the next one. Let's hope that this is the kickstart to your championship. Great job.
So McRae scores his 24th World Rally victory, once again joining Sainz and Mäkinen on the list of most events won. Confirmation too of the remainder of the point-scoring places, while the fact that Martin's Ford and the 2 Citroens can't score manufacturer points means Schwarz gets 1 for Hyundai. Not surprising Surprisingly, Gronholm still leads the Drivers' Series, but that lead has now been slashed. McRae has at last got his campaign underway, but at the season's halfway point, it looks as though Marcus Gronholm is still the hot favourite to regain the title he won in 2000.
You got that vital win, you must be absolutely delighted.
Yeah, it's great. It's something that we really needed at this point in the season for the championship, and hopefully there's going to be a few more.
What is it about you in this rally? That's 5 wins in 7 years now, it's terrific.
Yeah, I don't know, it's just one of these things. It's a rally we've got right. No real reason why, but it's just going our way.
The first day was difficult to be first on the road, and that I think that was the reason we couldn't fight for the victory.
That is giving us some good points in the championship, putting us in the second place, even if Marcus is still a little bit far away, but I'm quite happy.
Yeah, I'm very pleased because yesterday we lose a lot of time with punctures and but that is Acropolis, that can happen for everybody, and yesterday we had bad luck, but today is okay.
Petter, to be outside of the top 20 on the first day and finish 5th may well be the drive of the rally.
Well, isn't that normal? Well, in Cyprus I was 36 or something and ended up on 5th place, but it's hard work, very hard work. Yeah.
Peugeot still had the manufacturers' table, but 1st and 3rd in Greece mean that Ford now have 55 points. Subaru are still on 35, with the rest all in single figures.
I mean, really, it's 12 months since Colin won here. Obviously, this was the last rally he won. As you can imagine, it's a long time for the team. Yes, we had the win in Argentina, which was obviously, we took it very gratefully, but this is a real victory.
The second half of the championship begins with one of the most dramatic and famous events in the series, the Safari Rally in Kenya. Both rough roads and high temperatures will again be a factor, and Colin McRae will be out to repeat his win here this weekend.